Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell Podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. Pleased to be joined by Myatt Snider, of course, who will be driving the number 19 Toyota Supra this weekend for Joe Gibbs Racing in the upcoming Xfinity Race at Daytona. How's it going, Myatt?
It's going good, man. It's always a great day where you can say you're racing this weekend, and so we're kicking off the season opener in the number 19 Treetop GR Supra. So I'm just really excited. Honestly, I love plate racing, and to be doing it with a team I used to work for in the Cup Series on the Xfinity side now is honestly a really cool and a blessing and a cool full circle moment for me.
So I think people were asking me what you were going to do. I know a lot of people were asking you on Twitter about what your plans were going to be. Kind of just talk about how this kind of all came together.
Well, I think the most fun part about it was teasing everybody for so long because everybody kept asking me like, "Oh, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening?" I don't know. I can't say anything. And so it was just really fun to mess with people. But yeah, it just came together. We kind of asked our partners what they wanted to do, and they said that we want to win races. And so I think going with JGR is probably one of the best options in the Xfinity Series to do that. And so we tried to pick some of the best race tracks that were available for me to go out and win races. So obviously we got Portland, we got the Charlotte Roval, we've got Vegas, and I feel like I've had plenty of good runs at all those tracks. And yeah, honestly, I'm just really excited. And I think all of my partners are really excited too. So especially Treetop, and they're sponsoring all 6 races, and hopefully maybe we can add some more later in the year, but you never know what might happen. But yeah, I'm really excited, honestly. Working with these JGR guys has been a lot of fun so far, and we're kind of getting into the swing of things. And so I'm really excited. I'm ready to get to Daytona.
So there's going to be what's interesting to me is there's going to be, I know you kind of talked about what you're going to kind of do this year. You're going to be at Daytona, then we're not going to see you until Portland, and then we're not going to see you until the playoffs. There's these big gaps in between those races. So, and I know you're going to be doing a lot of stuff, and I think you just got your pilot's license, and you're also going back to school.
Yeah, I do have a lot of time in between these races, and so trying to fill them with as many, activities as I can. But yeah, I think I'm this close to my pilot's stuff. I've taken quite a few big steps recently to get that done. I'm going to probably finish it up after Daytona because for now that's kind of my main focus. But then after that, I'll be doing some flying, doing some schooling stuff, and also searching for as many sponsors as I can. And so, it helps to be at a great team like JGR to have, stuff that I can pitch and, stuff that I can show the sponsors, potential sponsors, and see, look at how these guys do it. It's pretty amazing. And it's just really makes my job easier, pitching sponsors. And so, yeah, it's a lot of fun, and I really like working with JGR.
So what did you do for them when you worked for them in high school?
So I initially started out in the fab shop, just kind of learning, what all it takes to put together a race car from the ground up. And so I kind of saw, from a day-to-day basis, what people are doing, how they're measuring stuff. And I really learned, wow, this is really precise stuff. And it takes a lot at the cup level to really succeed. And so the next, I was at that for about 2 years. And then in 2013, I moved on to working on the 20 car with Matt Kenseth driving and Jason Ratcliffe crew chiefing. And so I honestly learned a lot about how the race cars get put together and, kind of the dynamics of the team and what makes a team successful. And so I credit that a lot for the respect that I have for what goes into these race cars. And then I also kind of moved around a little bit in the summer of 2014, trying to test out different things. I was just starting to get into the swing of college for myself. And so I was like, do I want to be an engineer? Do I want to do this? Do I want to do that? So I went to CNC. I went to engineering department. I tried a whole bunch of different stuff. And eventually, towards the end of my tenure at JGR, I was on the teardown department, kind of just tearing down race cars after they came back from the shop. And then early on in the year 2015, I started focusing full-time on my late model efforts. But yeah, overall, working on the 20 car taught me a lot about, not only racing, but life itself. And so it's really cool to have this full circle moment to be finally driving for the team that taught me so much.
So you mentioned Jason Ratcliffe. Who's your crew chief for that race? Jason Ratcliffe. You mentioned the full circle thing. It's like the guy that you worked for is actually going to be your crew chief. How exciting is that? And I know you two have been talking about this for a while.
it's really awesome. Yeah, he's super laid back, he's super chill, and he's kind of seen plenty in terms of the racing world, and so he kind of knows his way around. He knows what he's doing, and so me, I'm kind of like, go go go. I want to go and win races, and he's just like, nice and chill, flat line. He's ready for whatever happens, and I think that we kind of balance each other out in that aspect, and so it's a good thing that we're working together, and I feel like we're gonna learn a lot from each other and hopefully get some wins for this team.
Now, going into Daytona, and obviously everybody remembers what happened last year, but going into this race, what's it going to be? What's it going to be like? And I mean, you got it, and like everyone, you got a shot to win this thing.
Yeah, absolutely. My philosophy at these plate races has always been be as far towards the front as I can be, whether that's leading, second, or third row. But I don't want to be, really any further back than the third row, just because that's kind of where the calamity starts to happen. The accordion effect gets bigger and bigger. And so for me, I always try and do what I can to get to the front. And funny story, we had an issue in qualifying. My team did last year for the Daytona season opener. And I remember that Jeremy Clements and Sam Mayer were around me, so they obviously had issues too. And I'm like, hey, guys, I'm going to the front. I'm not waiting back here. If you want to join me, cool. If not, cool too. Y'all have your race. And so Jeremy was like, yeah, why not? And so I think I started 33rd, and by lap 7, I was P5. So I take my getting to the front pretty seriously at these plate races. And, I think that I'm definitely going to be provided the equipment to get there this year.
Have you raced at Portland before?
Yes. Last year that was actually the debut race that we
That's
had
right.
treetop on the car.
Forgot about that.
And it was actually one of the best runs that we had all year. So I got Jordan Anderson Racing's first stage win. We led the most laps on the day and ended up finishing second. And so I am particularly hungry for that race because I know that I feel I can go back there and win pretty handily. And so definitely have all the equipment to do so this year. And so that's going to be one that I'm looking at with a lot of desire to get there.
For sure. And of course, going to, what would it mean to obviously get wins, but also, and this is a big year for you because you're going to finish school, you're going to get your pilot's license. A lot you have to accomplish this year. What's it going to be like to, you've got a lot of unique boxes to check this year.
Yeah, for me, this is kind of like I guess it's kind of, you could say it's a building year, right? Like I'm trying to stack on top of what I've already built up from the flying stuff, the school stuff, and now trying to build some new sponsorship stuff and, hopefully establish a relationship that is long-term with JGR. Like I said, I really like the folks here. I really like how they do things. And they have a really high standard of work. And so I think it's good to surround yourself with the people that you want to be around. And so that's kind of my plan, is to keep building and developing around this and get myself into an even better position for next year. But I do have a lot of boxes to check this year.
All right. Well, Myatt Snider, thank you so much for coming on and talking with us, and best of luck at Daytona this weekend.
Thanks, Casey.